freeze when speaking English? Good. That means you trained it wrong. Yeah, I said it. Wrong. Not your grammar, not your vocabulary, your system. Because if you still sit there thinking, I understand English, but I can't speak, then you're not confused. You're stuck in a loop. And that loop is killing your fluency. Let me show you exactly what's happening inside your head. Someone asks you a simple question. What did you do today? You understand it instantly. But then, nothing. Your brain pauses, your mouth stays shut, your confidence disappears. And in that moment, you feel stupid. But here's the truth. Nobody tells you. You're not bad at English. You're just slow. And you're slow because your brain is doing something completely useless. Translation. Every time you want to speak, your brain goes like this. Idea. Native language. Translate. English. Speak. That's 4 steps. 4. Meanwhile, a native speaker. Idea. Speak. 1 step. So, while they're already talking, you're still stuck in step 2. Of course you freeze. Of course you hesitate. Of course you feel behind. It's not a mystery. It's a broken system. And if you keep doing this, let me be very clear with you. You will stay like this for years. You'll keep understanding. You'll keep learning. You'll keep watching videos like this. But when it's time to speak, silence. And that's the difference between people who learn English and people who actually use it. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because the solution is not more vocabulary. It's not more grammar. It's not even more listening. It's reaction. Fluency is not about how much you know. It's about how fast you respond. Let me say that again. Fluency equals reaction speed. You already know enough English to speak. You just can't access it fast enough. And that's exactly what we're going to fix. Not by studying harder, but by training smarter. So here's your first shift. Stop trying to be correct. Start trying to be fast. Yeah, I know that sounds dangerous. Good. Because your obsession with being correct is exactly what's slowing you down. You sit there thinking, is this sentence right? Is my grammar correct? Is this the right word? And while you're thinking, the conversation is gone. So from this moment, I want you to change one rule. Answer immediately, not perfectly. Immediately. Someone asks you something? You respond. Even if it's broken, even if it's simple, even if it's wrong. Because speed builds flow, and flow builds confidence. And confidence? That's what makes you sound fluent. Let's make this real. If I ask you, what did you do today? Most learners will pause, but I don't want you to pause. I want you to say something instantly like, I work, I go outside, I eat. Simple. Messy, but alive. That's speaking, not perfect sentences in your head. Real output. Now here's the second problem that's slowing you down. You're trying to say too much. You build long, complicated sentences in your mind, and your brain crashes. So here's the fix. Simplify everything. Break your thoughts into small pieces. Instead of saying, Today I went to the supermarket and bought some food because I was hungry after work. Say, I went out. I bought food. I was hungry. Same meaning. Half the pressure, double the speed. This is how real conversation works. Short, fast, clear. Not perfect. Now here's something even more powerful. What happens when you don't know a word? Most people stop. They panic. They switch back to their native language, and the conversation dies. That's weak behavior. You don't need the exact word. You need the ability to explain. For example, you don't know the word calculator? Say, the thing I use to count numbers. You don't know elevator? Say, the machine that goes up and down in buildings. That's communication. That's fluency. Native speakers do this all the time. So stop acting like you need perfect vocabulary to speak. You don't. You need flexibility. And this one skill alone will keep your conversation alive. Now let's get practical. Because if you don't train this, nothing changes. Here's your daily drill. 3 questions. Every day. No excuses. Question 1. What did I do today? Question 2. What am I going to do tomorrow? Question 3. What do I enjoy doing? And here's the rule. You answer fast. No thinking. No translating. Just speak. Even if it's basic. Even if it's repetitive. Even if it sounds stupid. Because repetition builds speed. And speed builds fluency. Do this for a few days. And something starts to shift. You hesitate less. You respond faster. You think less in your native language. That's the beginning. But we're not done, because right now, you're only fixing part of the problem. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to rewire your brain completely, so you stop translating without even trying. And once that happens, speaking English won't feel like a task anymore. It will feel automatic. Good. Now we go deeper. Because right now, you understand the problem. You know translation is slowing you down. You know you need to respond faster. But knowing is useless if your brain is still wired the old way. So now we fix the root. We retrain how your brain actually thinks. Because here's the truth most people avoid. You don't speak English because you don't think in English. Everything still goes through your native language first. And as long as that happens, you will always be one step behind. So we change that. Not with theory, with pressure. Small, daily pressure. Here's the method. You start thinking in English, but not the way most people try. Because most learners make a stupid mistake. They try to think in full sentences immediately. Too big, too slow, too heavy. And then they quit. So we go smaller, much smaller. You start with single words. Look around you right now. What do you see? Phone, table, door, light. Say it in your head, not in your language, in English. Fast. No hesitation. If you don't know a word, skip it. Don't stop your flow just because of one missing piece. Because the goal is not perfection. The goal is speed. Now, once your brain gets used to naming things, you level up. Actions. Now you're not just seeing the world, you're describing it. I sit. I stand. I open the door. I drink water. Simple, but powerful. Because now your brain is connecting English directly to real life, not through translation, direct connection. That's how language is supposed to work. Now here's where it gets interesting. You go one level higher. Mini thoughts. I feel tired. I want coffee. This is boring. This is interesting. Now you're not just reacting to the world, you're reacting to your internal state. This is the moment your brain starts shifting. Because now English is not just something you study, it becomes something you use. And that changes everything. But we're not done, because the real jump happens here. Mini conversations, inside your head. Yeah, you talk to yourself. And before you think that's weird, let me be clear. What's actually weird is learning English for years and still not speaking. This works. So here's how you do it. Ask yourself a simple question. What did I do today? And answer it. I wake up. I go to work. I eat. No translation. No pause. Just flow. Now push it further. Ask another question. What will I do tomorrow? I will work. I will study. I will rest. Again. Fast. Simple. Alive. This is how you build thinking speed. Not by studying more, but by forcing your brain to react in English. And here's something critical. You will feel uncomfortable. Your brain will try to go back to your native language. It will say, this is hard. This is slow. This is annoying. Good. That's the exact moment you are changing. Weak people feel that and stop. Strong ones feel it and continue. Because discomfort is not a signal to quit. It's a signal that you're rewiring your brain. Now let's fix another hidden problem. Overthinking. Even if you start thinking in English, most of you still overanalyze everything. You try to build perfect sentences in your head. And again, you freeze. So here's the rule. Think like a child. Short, direct, imperfect. Children don't think, today I am going to engage in an activity that involves. No. They think, I play. I go. I eat. And guess what? They become fluent. Not because they're smart, but because they don't overcomplicate. So drop your ego. Stop trying to sound advanced. Focus on being clear and fast. That's real progress. Now let's connect this with your daily life. Because if you only do this for 5 minutes, and then spend the rest of your day in your native language, your brain won't change. So we integrate it. When you wake up, I feel sleepy. I don't want to get up. When you eat, this is good. I like this. When you walk outside, it's hot. It's noisy. These are tiny moments, but they happen all day. And each one is a chance to train. You don't need extra time. You need awareness. That's the difference. Now, here's where most people fail. Consistency. They try this once, maybe twice, then they stop. Because it feels too simple, too boring, too slow. Let me be clear. Simple works. Boring works. Repetition works. The problem is not the method. The problem is you don't stick with it long enough. You want results fast, but you train like someone who doesn't care. That doesn't work. If you do this daily, even just a few minutes, your brain will change. Not maybe, it will. Because you are building new neural pathways. You are training direct connection. English. Thought. Not English. Translation. Thought. And once that switch happens, something crazy starts to occur. You stop translating without noticing. Words come faster. Ideas come easier. You hesitate less. That's the beginning of real fluency. But we're about to accelerate this. Because thinking alone is not enough. You also need to train your mouth, your speed, your rhythm, your reaction in real time. And that's where most people are completely lost. They understand everything, but their mouth can't keep up. In the next part, we're going to fix that. We're going to connect your brain and your voice. So when you think, you speak instantly. No delay, no hesitation, no freeze. That's where things start moving fast. Good. Now we connect your brain to your mouth. Because right now, even if you start thinking in English, you still have a gap. A delay between thought and speech. You know what you want to say, but your mouth doesn't move fast enough. That's why you hesitate. That's why you sound unnatural. That's why conversations feel stressful. So now we fix that, and the tool we use is simple, but brutal if you do it right. Shadowing. If you're not using this, you're wasting time. Let me show you why. Most learners treat English like a school subject. They listen, they pause, they analyze, they translate. They try to understand every word, and then maybe they speak. That process is slow, too slow for real conversation, because in real life, nobody waits for you to analyze grammar. People speak, and you either respond or you fall behind. So shadowing removes all the delay. You hear, you speak, immediately. No pause, no thinking, no translation, just reaction. That's the training your brain actually needs. Here's how you do it. Pick a short audio, not something advanced, not something complicated. Simple, clear, natural. A short video, a podcast, even this video. Now listen to one sentence and repeat it instantly. Don't wait. Don't rewind first. Don't think. Just repeat what you hear. Even if you miss some words, even if your pronunciation is not perfect, even if you feel stupid. Especially then. Because that feeling, that's growth. Now here's the mistake most people make. They only repeat the words. That's weak. You copy everything. The sound, the rhythm, the speed, the emotion, because English is not just vocabulary. It's music. It flows. And if you speak word by word like a robot, yes, people will understand you. But you will never sound natural. Shadowing fixes that. Let's make this real. Sentence. I want to speak English fluently. Say it. Now again. Faster. Now again. With emotion. I want to speak English fluently. Feel the difference? That's not studying. That's training. Now, here's what's going to happen. At the beginning, you will struggle. Your tongue will feel heavy. Your mouth will feel slow. You won't catch every word. Good. That means you're pushing your limit. After a few days, something changes. You start recognizing patterns. You start predicting what comes next. Your mouth starts moving faster without thinking. And then one day, you notice something different. You hear a sentence, and you repeat it automatically. No delay, no translation. That's the breakthrough. That's when your brain and your mouth are finally connected. But we're not done. Because repeating is only half the game. You also need to create. So here's the upgrade. After you shadow a sentence, you change it. Example. You repeat, I want to improve my English. Now you say, I want to improve my speaking. I want to improve my pronunciation. I want to improve my listening. Now you're not copying anymore. You're building. This is where real skill starts forming. Because fluency is not memorization, it's flexibility. The ability to take one idea and create many variations. Now let's go deeper. Most people say, I don't have time to practice. That's a lie. You don't need more time. You need better habits. You're already consuming content every day. You watch videos. You scroll social media. You listen to music. So use that. Turn passive time into training time. Watching a video? Pause. Repeat one sentence. Scrolling TikTok? Pick one line. Shadow it. Listening to music? Sing it. Copy the artist. Feel the rhythm. This is how you build exposure without changing your lifestyle. Now your brain is constantly hearing English, constantly reacting, constantly adapting. And that's how you accelerate progress. Now here's something critical. Daily repetition. Not once. Not when you feel motivated. Every day. Even 5 to 10 minutes is enough, but it has to be daily. You brush your teeth every day, right? Do the same with your brain. Train it daily, because consistency beats intensity. Always. Now let's address another problem. Embarrassment. You feel weird speaking out loud. You feel shy. You don't want people to hear you, so you stay silent. And you think that's safe. It's not. It's killing your progress, because speaking is physical. Your mouth needs training. Your tongue needs training. Your breathing needs training. If you only practice in your head, you will never speak well. That's the reality. So speak. Out loud. Even if it's quiet. Even if it's in your room. Even if it's in the bathroom. I don't care. Use your voice. Every day. Now here's a powerful addition. Record yourself. Yeah, I know. You don't like your voice. Nobody does at first. But this is one of the fastest ways to improve, because when you listen back, you hear your mistakes, you notice your hesitation, you see your weak points, and now you can fix them. Without guessing, without hoping, with proof. Now combine everything. You think in English. You shadow daily. You speak out loud. You record yourself. This is a full system, not random practice, real training. And if you actually follow this, you won't just feel improvement, you will hear it. But we're about to go even further, because right now, you can repeat, you can react. But many of you still can't speak freely, without structure, without guidance, without something to follow. That's the next level. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to train your speaking, even if you are completely alone. No partner, no teacher, no excuses. Just you. And a system that forces you to speak. And once you master that, you stop depending on practice. You start building real communication. Good. Now we remove your last excuse. I don't have anyone to practice with. That's what most people hide behind. No partner, no teacher, no environment. So they wait. And while they wait, nothing changes. Let me make this clear. If you can't speak alone, you won't speak with others. Because conversation is not magic. It's a skill. And skills are built in isolation first, then tested in public. So now we build that skill. This is where most people separate. This is where lazy learners disappear. Because now, you have to use your voice, not in your head, out loud, every day. This method is simple, but if you do it right, it will change everything. Self-speaking training. You become your own speaking partner, your own teacher, your own pressure. Here's how it works. We start controlled, not random. Because if you jump straight into free speaking, you freeze again. So we build layers. Step 1. Read out loud. Yeah, basic. But most of you skip it. And that's why your pronunciation is weak. Take any simple text, a short paragraph, a script, subtitles, and read it slowly. Clear, focused. Don't rush. At this stage, clarity matters more than speed, because if you practice wrong sounds, your brain will lock them in, and fixing bad pronunciation later, much harder. So slow down. Read one sentence, then read it again, then again, each time smoother, each time more natural. Now here's the upgrade. Emotion. Stop reading like a robot. Language is not dead. It has feeling. If the sentence is, I am happy to see you, say it like you mean it. Smile. Feel it. Because when you add emotion, your brain remembers faster. Your voice becomes natural. And your speech becomes alive. Now we move to level 2. Controlled speaking. You speak, but with structure. This removes fear, because you're not guessing what to say. You're following a simple pattern. Example. Describe your day. Start simple. Today I woke up at 7. I went to work. I ate lunch. I felt tired. That's enough. Don't try to impress. That's where you mess up. People try to sound advanced, and then they freeze. Keep it basic. Fluency is built on simple sentences repeated many times, not complex sentences said once. Now here's a powerful upgrade. Time shifting. Same idea, different time. Present. I work every day. Past. I worked yesterday. Future. I will work tomorrow. Now your brain learns flexibility. Now you're not stuck in one form. You can move. That's how real conversations work. Now we go deeper. Free speaking. This is where most people get uncomfortable. Good. That's where growth is. Now there's no script, no structure, just you and your thoughts. So here's what you do. Pick a simple question. What did I do today? And answer it out loud. I woke up. I checked my phone. I ate breakfast. Keep going. Don't stop. If you get stuck, don't switch languages. Don't panic. Break your idea. Make it smaller. Continue. Because stopping is the real problem, not mistakes. Flow matters more than accuracy. Always. Now here's something important. You don't need long sessions. You don't need 1 hour. You need consistency. Even 5 to 10 minutes daily is enough if you do it seriously, because most people don't actually practice. They sit there, thinking about practicing, planning, watching, but not speaking. That's useless. Action creates results, nothing else. Now let's make this even stronger. Record yourself. Again, yes, because this is your feedback loop. When you listen back, you hear everything clearly. Your mistakes, your pauses, your weak pronunciation. And now you can fix them. Without guessing. Without pretending. Real improvement. Now combine everything. You read out loud. You describe your day. You answer questions. You speak freely. You record. This is a full speaking workout. No partner needed. No teacher needed. Just discipline. Now let's deal with the biggest lie you tell yourself. I'm shy. No, you're untrained. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you build by doing. You speak, you feel uncomfortable, you improve, you gain confidence. That's the order, not the other way around. So stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel ready. Start anyway. Now here's the next level. Because speaking alone is training. But real conversations, that's the test. And most people fail there. Not because they don't know English, but because they panic. They overthink. They freeze. So what do? We prepare before the battle. We simulate real conversations inside your training. So when the moment comes, you don't think. You react. That's what we build next. Because once you can handle real situations in your head, real life becomes easy. And that's when you stop being a learner and start being a speaker. Good. Now we simulate reality. Because this is where everything either clicks or collapses. You've trained your brain. You've trained your mouth. You've built some speed. But when a real person talks to you, you still panic. Why? Because real conversations are unpredictable. They move fast. There's pressure. And your brain goes back to its old habit, thinking instead of reacting. So we fix that. We don't wait for real conversations to practice. We create them inside your training. This is how you prepare before the moment happens. This is how you stop freezing. You simulate, not randomly, strategically. You take real-life situations and you rehearse them out loud, again and again, until your brain stops thinking and starts responding automatically. Let's start simple. Situation: ordering food. Someone asks you, "What would you like to drink?" You answer immediately, "I'd like a coffee." No pause, no thinking. Now push it. Do you want sugar? Yes, a little sugar, please. Anything else? No, that's all. Thank you. That's a full interaction. Short, real, useful. Now repeat it. Again and again until it feels automatic. Now move to another situation. Meeting someone new. Where are you from? I'm from Vietnam. What do you do? I work in an office. How long have you been learning English? I've been learning for 2 years. These are not complicated sentences, but this is real communication. This is what you actually need, not advanced grammar structures you never use. Now here's the key. You don't memorize one answer. You create variations. Instead of, I work in an office, to say, I'm a student. I run a small business. I work from home. Now your brain becomes flexible. Now you're not repeating, you're adapting. That's fluency. Now let's increase the difficulty. Speed. When you practice these conversations, don't go slow. Because real conversations are not slow. Train at a natural pace, even if you make mistakes, even if it feels messy. Because real life is messy. And you need to be comfortable inside that mess. Now let's fix one of the biggest fears: not knowing words. You're in a conversation. You want to say something, and one word is missing. So you stop. Wrong move. Never stop. You already learned this. You go around the word. You explain. You keep the conversation alive. Example: you don't know battery? Say, the thing inside the phone that gives power. You don't know receipt? Say, the paper they give after you pay. You don't know keyboard? Say, the thing you use to type on a computer. This skill is powerful because it removes pressure. Now you don't need perfect vocabulary. You just need to communicate. And that's enough. Now here's a daily system to lock this in. 3 questions. Every day. Out loud. No excuses. Question 1. What did I do today? Question 2. What am I going to do tomorrow? Question 3. What do I enjoy doing? You answer each question for 30 seconds. No stopping. No translating. No switching languages. If you get stuck, simplify, break it down, continue. Because flow is everything. Now let's connect everything you've built so far. You think in English. You shadow daily. You speak out loud. You simulate conversations. This is not random anymore. This is a system. You are training input and output, reaction and creation, speed and flexibility. This is how real fluency is built. Now here's the truth most people don't want to hear. This works. 100. But only if you stay consistent. And that's where most people fail. They start strong. They feel motivated. They practice for a few days. Then they get bored. Then they stop. Then they say, English is too hard. No, you are just inconsistent. That's the real problem. So if you actually want to change, you need structure, not motivation, a clear plan, something you follow every day. No guessing, no overthinking, just execution. And that's exactly what we're locking in next. Because without a plan, you will fall back into your old habits. You will start strong and then disappear, like everyone else. So now we build something simple, something direct, something you can actually follow for 30 days and see real change, not theory, not hope, results. Now this is it. No more information, no more overthinking, no more watching and doing nothing. Because if you've made it this far, you already know the truth. You don't have a knowledge problem. You have an action problem. You know why you freeze. You know translation is slowing you down. You know you need to think faster, speak faster, react faster. You have the system, thinking in English, shadowing, speaking out loud, simulating conversations, daily repetition. Nothing is missing. So the only question left is simple. Are you actually going to do it? Or are you going to close this video, scroll to the next one, and stay exactly the same? Because that's what weak people do. They consume, they agree, they feel motivated for 5 minutes. And then, nothing changes. Same habits, same excuses, same results. Don't be that person. You don't need more videos. You don't need a better method. You don't need perfect conditions. You need to start. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. You will never feel ready. So do this. Right now. Look around you. Say 5 things in English. Out loud. Do it. Then say 1 sentence about what you're doing. I am watching this video. Good. Now answer this. What will I do after this? Say it. That's your first step. Small, simple, real. And if you repeat this every day, your brain will change. Not maybe. It will. You will start thinking faster. You will stop translating. You will respond without panic. You will speak without freezing. Not perfectly, but naturally. And that's what matters, because fluency is not perfection. Fluency is flow. So stop chasing perfect English. Start building real English. Now listen carefully. There will be days you don't feel like doing this. Days you feel tired. Days you feel slow. Days you feel like you're not improving. Good. Those are the days that decide everything. Because anyone can practice when they feel good. Very few people practice when they don't. Be one of those people. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you stop being average. And one more thing. Stop saying, I am learning English. Say, I use English every day. That identity will change how you act, and your actions will change your results. So this is it. No more excuses. No more delay. Start. Stay consistent, and finish what you started. Or stay stuck. Your choice.